Hi, I'm Martin. Welcome to Oxford Online English. In this lesson, you can learn how to use the verbs make and do in different ways.
You'll see the differences between make and do and all of the meanings of each verb. You'll also see phrasal verbs and collocations with make and do. Here's a question. Have you visited our website yet? If you want to learn English, we have many resources to help you, as well as teachers you can take online lessons with if you want. oxfordonlineenglish.com.
Let's look at our lesson. What's the difference between make and do?
What are you doing?
I'm making a shopping list. I need some stuff to make dinner.
What are you going to make?
I think some kind of stir fry. I have to do some work too, so I need something quick.
Sounds tasty. Why do you have to work?
I have to make a presentation for our meeting tomorrow, and I need to check through what I've written and maybe change a few things. By the way, can you do the washing up before I get back? I'd like to start cooking as soon as I get in. I need to do everything and get to bed early.
Sure, I'll do it now.
Here, you saw 3 ways to use do and 3 ways to use make. Can you remember them? Imagine you're an English teacher. Could you explain the basic difference between do and make to someone? How would you do it? Think about it.
Do means to perform an activity or task. For example, you do work, do the washing up, or do everything. Make means to create something and or produce a result. If you make a shopping list, make dinner, or make a presentation, then you create something. There's a result at the end of the process. That's the basic difference between do and make. In the rest of this lesson, you'll learn about do and make in more detail, but keep this basic idea in your head.
What's that?
I'm making a card for Sasha's leaving party. I thought it would be nicer to make it myself, rather than just buy something.
How's it going?
It's a lot harder than I thought it would be. This is my second attempt. I made a lot of mistakes the first time, and I had to throw it away. But now I think I'm making progress.
What happened in the kitchen? Did you make all that mess?
Yeah. I need to make a cake, too. I mean, I've started making a cake.
Let me guess. Harder than you thought it would be?
Yeah, a little. I'm trying to make an orange and chocolate sponge.
There's chocolate all over the walls. What happened?
Well, the mixer was making a strange noise, so I took the lid off to see if there was a problem, but I forgot to turn it off, so the chocolate mixture went everywhere. Don't worry, I'll clean it up.
You can use make when you create a result. You can use make for things with a physical result, like make a card, make a cake, or make dinner. You can also use make for non-physical results, like make a mistake, make progress, or make a noise.
Here's a question. Can you think of more examples like this? Pause the video and try to find 3 more examples of phrases with make which describe physical results and 3 which describe non-physical results. Can't think of 3? Try to find 1 or 2. Pause the video and do it now.
Ready? What did you get? For physical results, it's common to use make with food and drink, like make a sandwich, make a cup of coffee, or make pizza.
You can also make a toy, make a chair, or make a shelf if you can do it yourself. You can say that companies make things. For example, Apple makes the iPhone, or Honda makes cars. For non-physical results, there are many possibilities. You could say, make a joke, make a suggestion, make a friend, or make an appointment.
It's also common to use make with money words like make money, make a profit, or make an investment. Did you get any of these phrases? Did you find examples that we didn't? Perhaps share your ideas in the comments. Next, let's look at a slightly different way to use make.
What's wrong? Did something happen?
What? No, nothing.
You look sad.
It's my allergies. At this time of year, they really make my face puffy. Plus, they make my eyes water.
Are you taking anything?
Yeah, I take antihistamines, but they don't help that much. They make me sleepy.
What are you allergic to? Pollen?
I think so. But it makes me sensitive to other things too, like dust. It's bad, but it only lasts 4 weeks or so.
You can use make to mean produce a reaction in someone. Similar to the last section, this could be a physical reaction, as in, they make my face really puffy. They make my eyes water. The antihistamines make me sleepy. You could also use it for emotional reactions. For example, the news made him angry. Thinking about what he said made me happy.
Finally, you can use make for reactions which are both physical and emotional, like this. It was such a sad film. It made me cry for hours. He's so funny. He makes me laugh all the time. Okay, here's a task for you. Look at 3 questions. Can you answer these 3 questions for yourself? Pause the video and make your answers. You can write them down, say them out loud, or both.
Okay, could you do it? Of course, everyone's answers will be different, but here are 3 suggestions. Being outside on a beautiful day makes me really happy. The last thing that made me laugh was a joke my colleague made in a meeting this morning. Someone not telling the truth could make me angry. Were your answers similar or not? Feel free to post your answers in the comments and share them with other learners. Now you've seen many ways to use make. What about do?
Have you done the report for our sales meeting tomorrow?
No, I won't be here. Did you not get my email?
What email?
I sent it to you last week. I've been doing a course on digital marketing, and tomorrow I have to do the final exam.
So, who'll do the report?
I don't know.
Is there no way you can do it?
Sorry. No. I've done most of my work for today, and then I'm going straight home to do some last-minute revision.
Remember that do means that you perform a task or an activity. You often use it to talk about things you do at work or school. Look at 3 examples you heard in the dialogue. Can you remember how to complete the missing words? Can you get the answers? You'll see them in a second.
So, you can do work, do business, do a deal, do a report, and so on. You can also use do with other kinds of work, like do housework or do homework. Also, you can use do for many things connected with school and education. You do research, do exams, do a course, do revision, and do a subject. With some of these, you can use other verbs too. For example, you can do an exam or take an exam. You can also use take with course or subject.
For example, you can say, I have to take 4 subjects in my first year of university. Or, I have to do 4 subjects in my first year. There's no difference in meaning. It doesn't matter which you use. Let's look at one more common way to use do.
Have you done anything about the washing machine?
No, not yet.
Well, when are you going to do something? It's been a week. I'm running out of clean clothes.
You could do it too, you know. Can't do everything around here.
What do you mean, do everything? You've done nothing all day. You spent the morning watching cartoons in your underwear.
Fine. I'll do it tomorrow.
You can use do as a general verb in phrases, like do something. You heard 3 more phrases like this in the dialogue. Can you remember them? You heard do anything, do everything, and do nothing.
You can use these phrases in different ways. For example, I need to do something about my hair. It's a mess. Do you want to do anything this weekend? She's so lazy. She sits in her office all day long doing nothing. They're a very close couple. They do everything together.
Easy, right? To practice, try to make your own examples too. Let's do one more thing. In our last section, you'll see some common collocations and phrases using make and do. What did you make of the play?
It was interesting, but you could see that they're on a tight budget. They could have done with better lighting for one thing. I could hardly see sometimes.
I know what you mean. I thought they did a good job of making do with what they had, but obviously it would have been better if they'd had more resources.
Yeah, they did their best. Look at some phrasal verbs and collocations with make and do, which you heard. Can you remember how they were used? Could you explain what they meant?
Make of is mostly used in questions when you want to ask someone for their opinion. If someone asks you, "What did you make of it?" they want to know what you thought. For example, if I ask you, "What did you make of the concert?" I'm asking you for your opinion. Did you like it or not? Did you think it was good or not? Do with means want or need. It's conversational. You might say, I could do with a cup of tea, meaning I want a cup of tea.
Do a good job is easier to guess. If you do a good job, you do something well. It doesn't have to be about work. You could use it about many things. You can also use different adjectives. For example, do a bad job, do an adequate job, and so on. Make do is harder to explain. Look at an example. I didn't have time to cook, so we made do with some snacks and small things.
Does this help? If you make do with something, you don't have what you want, so you have to find a way to use something else. Here's another example. After we moved, the furniture didn't arrive for a week, so for a bed, we had to make do with a mattress on the floor. This means that you didn't have the thing you wanted, your bed, so you had to use something else.
Do your best means to try as hard as you can. It's often used when you didn't get the result you wanted. For example, they did their best, but in the end, they lost 3-0. I did my best, but there was no way I could manage everything alone.
There are many more phrasal verbs and collocations with make and do. Can you think of any more? If so, share your ideas in the comments and make some examples to share your ideas with other learners. Thanks for watching!
See you next time.